The other day, it was the 62nd anniversary of Doctor Who, so, as to be expected, a bunch of news, articles, rumours, etc. started spreading round like wildfire. Did Russell T Davies just deliberately tease either the next Doctor or the next companion with this footage, which sort of sent Twitter haywire? How can you win a trip to the TARDIS set, the BBC TARDIS set? You might be able to go if you stay watching this video. In very exciting news as well, a bunch of deleted scenes in which the Doctor and Belinda kiss, and more crazy stuff happens. I mean, we all know the original ending of Season 2 was completely changed, so what differed? Because not only have the deleted scenes been released, but some of the scripts have been released as well. We're going to look at a couple of important details and key points from those in this video. And not only that, we have updates, and we actually have more pictures of this image that we talked about in my last video. Is it real? Is it fake? What are these new angles and new pictures of the same filming day? Well, we'll take a look at those as well. Strap yourselves in because there is a lot to break down and discuss in today's Doctor Who News Roundup. So let's just jump in with our first story. Finally, I mean, we had the announcement the other week, but the Series 10 soundtrack is officially on the way, and we actually have a date that it will be released. It is going to be hitting stores, hitting Spotify, hitting streamers on the 12th of December. Murray Gold also confirmed in a podcast recently that the reason the Series 10 soundtrack hasn't been released up until this point isn't via him. Like, a lot of people sort of went, oh yeah, Murray's probably tired, or Murray's a little bit sick of Doctor Who, to be honest. Maybe that's why the Series 10. But apparently it was, like, he didn't blame Chris Chibnall as such, but it was that production team. They just wanted a fresh start. That's why they got in Sega Nakanola, etc. But yeah, Series 10 soundtrack is on the way soon, which I presume means the 60th soundtrack, then the Season 1 and Season 2 soundtracks will also be coming to us in the relatively near future. We obviously have all the names of the tracks listed here. There are so many tracks, I won't put them all on screen, but it's so exciting. Series 10, for those of you who don't know, which I'm surprised if you watch this channel frequently you don't know, but that's my personal favourite series of Doctor Who ever. So it's lovely to be getting extra content of it. I mean, Bill's theme, the music that plays, that it's not officially called that now, but the Where There's Tears There's Hope, that is just, it's impeccable. But let's move on to our next story. As I said, it was Doctor Who Day, so the BBC have opened up this competition here. A UK Doctor Who fan can enter a competition for a TARDIS set visit. In celebration of 62 years of Doctor Who, fans in the UK are invited to enter a competition for themselves and a friend to visit the TARDIS set at Wolf Studios in Cardiff. Now, how do you enter this competition, I hear you cry? Well, for a chance of winning, applicants must be residents of the United Kingdom, aged 18 and over, submit their details before midnight on the 30th of November 2025, so you've only got a couple of days as of recording this video. Full terms and conditions apply. There's also this little promo video because the TARDIS appeared at Stonehenge to celebrate Doctor Who Day. Bizarre. I mean, they didn't do much for Doctor Who, but then I suppose, what are you supposed to do under the current climate? And obviously as well, we'll discuss it when we discuss whatever this video is. But yeah, Russell T Davies didn't seem to post much, if anything, about Doctor Who Day, so is this implying that he is in fact leaving the show after the 2026 Christmas special? Well, I'm sure we'll soon find out. There's a thing with Doctor Who fans where they always hate the current showrunner. Like, no matter who it is. I remember when I sort of properly joined the fandom, it was during the Moffat era, and everyone online was, we're fed up of Moffat, get rid of him, I'll do this, I'll do that. Chibnall comes in, everyone immediately goes, Moffat was great, get rid of Chibnall, get rid of this. Chibnall leaves, Russell comes back, everyone immediately goes, Chibnall, we didn't know what we had when we had it, Russell, blah, 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 blah. Like, I think people just hate the current showrunner, which is actually quite funny, because the possible future Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Zach Polanski, was actually asked about Doctor Who. You can find the clip online in a load of places, but he was actually asked, and he says, like basically every Doctor Who fan ever, I love Russell T Davies, but I've been pretty disappointed with Doctor Who lately, which that's just, it's funny. I mean, I saw people as well joking that, like, Now that he's said this, Keir Starmer's going to come out and say, oh, I love the reality war, which, let's get back on track. Funny little story aside. Doctor Who Season 2 had some deleted scenes released, which means we have quite possibly, unless some of the rumours are to be believed, that he's going to appear in the 2026 Christmas special, we have quite possibly just had our last glimpse of Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor ever. Because they still haven't, I don't know why, but they haven't released the original ending to The Reality War. Part of me wonders, because obviously Susan was in it, Carol Ann Ford's come out and talked about this, are they saving that footage to be used in the 2026 Christmas special? Are they reusing that idea? Where's all that going? We don't quite know. But unless they release that, as I say, this could very well be the last we see of the 15th Doctor. I'll give you a quick little rundown of some of the scenes that were released. You can actually go and watch them for yourself on the official Doctor Who YouTube channel. Our first scene is from Joy to the World, in which Ruby and her family are celebrating Christmas, and the Doctor actually rings her. Ruby just misses the call, but it's a private number. Then the Doctor decides, no, I'm not going to call Ruby. Then we've got the shortest deleted scene in history. Belinda walks out of a hospital. Then we've got an extended conversation between the Doctor and Belinda from the Robot Revolution. There are still scenes we know were shot for the Robot Revolution, like a whole flashback history of Belinda's life that seemingly we'll never see, which is a bit bizarre, but there's 2 cut bits of dialogue from the Robot Revolution. There's also, I suppose, 3 cut bits of dialogue from the Robot Revolution. We talked about it in a prior video, but Belinda entering the TARDIS, that scene was originally a lot longer, focused on a prophecy that she'd had made about her when she was a child. Also got like a tiny bit from Lux where the Doctor and Belinda are escaping. I can see why this scene was cut. It's kind of pointless. We've then got quite a nice scene from Lucky Day where Conrad's basically being a bit of an anti-vaxxer and Ruby's like, come on mate, just take the serum to stop the evil thing coming after you. Then we've got the scene we talked about the other week, the Sunday family in the Sunday kitchen, where Cherry gets a little bit suspect with Conrad. Yes, you did hear that right. Then we've got another very short scene where Conrad's just organising his gang of evil people. Then we've got the Story in the Engine deleted scene. It's just another story from one of the blokes in the barbershop. Then from the Interstellar Song Contest, I can see why they cut this. It looks bizarre. Obviously the CGI is not finished, but the Doctor and Rylan having a little moment while a guy grabs a confetti cannon and then they get blasted up. So it would have slowed down the pacing. Then we've got a lovely scene with the Doctor and Belinda and Poppy. They're putting her to bed. The Doctor says, well, John Smith says he's been expressing doubts and his wife, Belinda, tries to calm him down by kissing him, which is a really bizarre sight, this Doctor and Belinda kissing. I mean, there are shippers out there. I think, is it hashtag nurse doc? I think that's what the kids are calling it these days. And then finally, we have a lovely little scene with Poppy and Belinda in the kitchen, which was just before the Doctor comes in and does his call, drops his coat, and he's the Doctor. My thoughts on the scenes, they're fine. Yeah, I mean, some of them, like some of the stuff from the Robot Revolution, some of the stuff from Lucky Day, they're just really good character building scenes, and I just don't get why this era was so insistent on cutting a bunch of scenes which are actually really good. Yeah, it's a shame, but it is what it is. As I say though, it's not only the deleted scenes that we now have, we also have this. The BBC Writers' Room on Twitter released Happy Doctor Who Day. To celebrate, you can now read all of the scripts from Series 2 in our script library, as well as the 2024 Christmas special, Joy to the World. As always, a massive thank you to Russell T Davies for sharing these wonderful scripts, as well as Sharma Angel Warful, Juno Dawson, Inua Ellams, Pete McTighe, and Stephen Moffat. We hope that reading these scripts is quite simply an absolute joy. Now, upon hearing this, I, as many other people did online, immediately went, okay, let's look at that Reality War script. We know the ending was changed, we know all this happened, and the Reality War regeneration script, so the adapted version of the script, was completed on September 30th, 2024. Now, unless that date is a lie, which it very well could be at this point, that throws a lot of things into question and is kind of bizarre because that means, as pointed out here, that Ncuti Gatwa going on the Graham Norton show on November 11th, 2024 was all a lie, or I don't quite understand, because if you remember back to this time last year, we made a video on it at the time, but Ncuti Gatwa said, It's all going well. We did the second series this year, the Christmas special is coming up, and we are filming a third series next year. Why would Ncuti say that on November 11th if it had already been decided that he will be leaving the show and that ending had actually already been written? Something's not adding up here. It's bizarre. Because also, they were supposed to have wrapped filming in, I think, June or July or something of 2024. So, when did this happen? And it also makes me wonder, this whole Disney deal collapse and Disney not picking up Doctor Who for more seasons, was that something decided as far back as, like, September or, well, I suppose August, July or whenever of 2024? Because it's giving me the impression, obviously this is speculation here, but it's giving me the impression that season 1 came out, so obviously the 60th had come out, then season 1 came out. They saw the fan reaction and the lack of viewership and new audiences it was bringing to Disney Plus after season 1, and at that point said, okay, we're not picking this up. And then I think they've probably been pretending, because I mean, it's not a good look for the show. They've been pretending through season 2, etc., that don't worry, the deal's still in limbo. But if that's the case, why did they suddenly decide to announce it for The War Between so soon? And why aren't Disney releasing The War Between with... It's bizarre, and I'm sure in many years to come, we will look back on this history of the show with documentaries or with little behind-the-scenes extras or books or something, hopefully. I know there's probably more NDAs in place nowadays than there were with the classic era, but it would be so fascinating to know exactly what went down with all this back when it happened. But speaking of back in the day for Doctor Who, what a smooth transition I just did there. The Radio Times also released this on Doctor Who Day. Happy Doctor Who Day, ready to take a trip back in time, revisit the early years by downloading your very own free book-a-zine, complete with gems from the Radio Times archive. And you've actually got a couple of pictures here which, Classic Who fans, correct me in the comments, but I genuinely don't think have ever been seen properly publicly in this high definition before, of some classic Patrick Troughton, William Hartnell episodes, which, that's pretty exciting. If that's your thing, as ever, we're not sponsored by these people, I'm just giving you the Doctor Who news, so if you want to check that out, feel free to go and check it out. But from the past to the future, this image right here, Paul McGann and Billie Piper, is it real? Well, that's the topic of discussion of our prior video, right? We were breaking it down, it went through AI detectors, it went through this, and I came to the conclusion in that video that it's probably not real. I reckon it's AI generated. I'd heard whisperings of Google's new AI generation software, which we will be discussing more in today's video, being behind the image. But then, multiple other images of this seemingly same day, same set photo started appearing. The first one is this wide shot of the room, which seems to have Paul and Billie in the same position, surrounded by a TARDIS console, a completely new one, by the way. This isn't the Disney one that we know and love. It's also got, like, cast and crew and all this, and right, there's also another angle which is very similar to the original, just from lower down, this photo here, right? So there are now multiple pictures from the same filming day, but this, to me, only confirms that it's fake. That image there, the wide shot of the console room, there is a possibility, right, that somebody took the original thin image, AI extended it outwards, which is what's caused this, but it's Occam's razor at this point. What's most likely to be true is probably true. That image is definitely altered with AI, okay? You can just tell. Like, whether it be the console looking too... Like, that's just... It's not a real console, is it? The direct Capaldi rip of, like, the column thing in the middle of the time rotor, that's the official term. Or just look at the walls. Why are there spaces in the walls? Because this looks like they're filming on set. Why are there just holes in the walls? Like, the design just does not make sense. So I suppose you could have the camera the other angle panning round and stuff, but it's that image is definitely not real. As I say, they could have extended the original one out, but most logically and most likely the whole thing is a hoax. The whole thing is a fake. Somebody else on Twitter actually released this tweet here saying, I took the 3D rendering of my TARDIS console room, a photo of David Tennant, Matt Smith, Jenna Coleman, and a photo of Catherine Tate, and uploaded them to Nano Banana Pro. Now this is the new Google AI software I was referencing in my prior video, Nano Banana Pro, and created this, telling it to make the 3D render look more realistic. Now, this image obviously isn't quite as realistic looking as the other one, but as they say in this caption, this is AI slop I made in under 3 minutes. Do not believe what you see. Zoom in on David Tennant's face there, zoom in on Matt Smith's face there, even Catherine Tate's. That does look very real. If you didn't know and you lowered the quality a bit, you could pass some of this off, which is genuinely scary, and I do think opens up a wider topic of just AIs becoming terrifying. I mean, on a funny note, I did see someone create, I'll crop the bottom to save your eyes, but they find that the new Google AI software is less censored and likely to refuse a request than a ChatGPT image, which is how you can end up with a realistic looking Shrek. But the point is, yeah, these AI things, certain things on ChatGPT or other image generators have limited using celebrities' faces to create a hoax. Like, you can't create the President of the United States saying something he didn't say because he says enough mad stuff as it is. We don't need any more misinformation out there. After seeing the stuff that this image generator can create, I think the whole thing is a hoax. As I said in my last video, it doesn't quite make sense that they'd be filming now. It just doesn't add up. But a picture that we know 100% is real and was posted by the Russell T Davies himself is this. Who on earth is this in the TARDIS, and why has this been causing a stir online? On Doctor Who Day, the only Doctor Who related post that Russell T Davies made that day was this. Happy birthday, Oliver. And then there's an accompanying video which I'll put on screen now. This, obviously, like, what I don't understand about this whole thing is sort of Russell's got to know that this is gonna stir up speculation within the fandom, right? Like, it's the 62nd anniversary of Doctor Who. There's no way he missed that. He's posting something Doctor Who related. We currently don't have a Doctor. Posting this guy in the TARDIS in what's a relatively doctory outfit, doctory jacket, doctory whatever. Like, what? I mean, I've also seen people saying, like, oh, it's really weird that if this guy isn't the Doctor, like, he seems to be just some, like, random Instagram model. Like, I don't think he's actually an actor either. So it could just be like an influencer or a person, a friend of Russell or a friend of a production team member being allowed on set. Obviously, we know that certain influencers have been allowed on set, like Theories by T, who helps with the Doctor Who fan show, Crystal D, obviously. Loads of influencers were given access to the TARDIS as like a promotional tool for season 2, so it could be something along those lines. But posting it on Doctor Who Day, now obviously it's a happy birthday post, so Oliver can't actually decide when Oliver's birthday is, to be fair. Like, fair enough. But could it not have been an Instagram story? Like, obviously it brought to mind as well Russell's comments way back about, like, you just hope it'll generate content. Is that the thinking here? Is he trying? Have I fallen for the trap? Has Russell wanted us to all wildly speculate that this man is the new Doctor, and that's what we're doing right now? I mean, I just don't quite understand, like, I don't know. But I think removing the Doctor Who fan aspect from my brain for a second, logically, this is just a nice guy who's friends with Russell, who has been invited to set, took a couple of pictures, and Russell's decided to post them for his birthday. I mean, if you go over to the guy's Instagram, which a lot of people have done, he's got a lot of Doctor Who related followers now because they're all like, oh my god, he's going to be the new companion, maybe he'll be Petrol. Russell said he wanted to name a companion Petrol, this could be Petrol. But no, he posted 27, another year passes, but it's alright, I have a TARDIS. No, not the do Doctor, no, not the new Doctor, promise. So there you go. He himself is saying he's not the new Doctor. But can anything be believed at this point? But as ever, let me know what you're thinking in the comments down below. Do you think this has any significance? Are you with me in that this AI image is definitely AI and not a real image? What track on the Series 10 soundtrack are you looking forward to the most? As ever, if you did enjoy the video, please do remember to like, comment, subscribe and share. I've also launched a bit of a second channel if you want to check that out. There's a couple of new videos on there. There might only be one at the time of recording, but there's another very, very soon on the way. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you did enjoy. Cheers, check it out. Goodbye. Thanks.
Don't forget to click below and subscribe to the official Confused Adipose YouTube channel.
I will destroy you!
She's not seen a single episode.
No, I've watched your episodes.
Keep these sonic screwdrivers.
What else am I saying about the film? Don't watch this one.